Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be making pumpkin pie, and chances are if you're from England you've probably never tried it before, but it is absolutely beautiful. It doesn't really taste much like pumpkin, it mostly just tastes of like the cinnamon and like all the mixed spices and stuff that you use, but yeah, it's really nice, so enjoy. So you want to measure out and into a bowl add 380 grams of plain flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 255 grams of chopped butter. It needs to be cold and kept cold the entire time. You don't want the butter to warm up or melt. So make sure you keep it cold the whole time. Once you've mixed it, put it back in the fridge for a bit. Once you've rolled it out and lined the tray, put it back in the fridge for a bit. You really need to keep it cold the whole time. But yeah, 255 grams of cold chopped butter, 1.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and somewhere between 6 and 7.5 tablespoons of ice cold water. Add it bit by bit as you go, and as soon as the dough starts to sort of come together and form a rollable dough, then stop there. You don't need to add the full 7.5 if it's not needed. Once combined, put it into a bowl and put it in the fridge for a minimum of half an hour to go cold. Once cooled, take it out of the fridge and roll it out onto a floured surface. Try and avoid contact with your hands as much as possible because the heat from your hands will melt the butter. Then take a pie dish, and at this point I should have put the pie dish on top of the pastry and cut around 1 inch around the tin. But I did it the hard way, so but yeah, pick up your pastry, put it into the tin sort of gently as you can. If like me you did it the awkward way, then this is a good time to trim off the excess, and then you kind of just put fold the excess underneath. Well, you'll see how I did it anyway, but yeah, fold it underneath and trim off any bits you don't need. Then crimp the edges going around using 3 fingers, 1 from one hand, 2 from the other, to make the pretty little crimped edges. Then take a fork and stab the base, also stab the sides, I forgot to do that. Then a quick coffee break. Then line your pastry with some baking parchment and fill it with something heavy, whatever you've got. Rice works well, pasta or oats. I just kind of used a bit of everything. It just stops the base from rising, so yeah, fill it all up to weigh it all down. Once you've done that, you can cook it in a preheated oven for about 15 minutes at 190 degrees. Once it's done, remove it from the oven and remove the baking parchment and whatever you use to weigh it down. And then you're going to want to get about a tablespoon of milk and an egg, whisk it together and glaze the bottom of the pie. Only the bottom, you don't really need to do the tops or anything. But yeah, glaze the bottom and then put it back into the oven for about a further 5 minutes. Now for the pie filling, you're going to want to combine into a big bowl 3 eggs, 100 grams of light brown sugar, 65 grams of caster sugar, or if you don't have caster sugar you can use just normal sugar, 495 grams of pumpkin puree. You can buy, if it's out of season, you can buy tins of pumpkin puree off of Amazon. Or you could buy a small cooking pumpkin and roast it and puree it yourself. Then add half a teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 3/4 of a teaspoon of ginger, 1.5 big rounded teaspoons of cinnamon, 175 grams of double cream, and 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Give it all a good mix until it's all properly combined, and then you're done. Add it into your cooled pie crust, and then it's ready to be glazed and put in the oven. So the glaze used for the base of it earlier, just use that again to glaze the crust around the edges, and then cook it in the oven, this time at 170 degrees for around 35 to 40 minutes. When it's done, the edges of the filling should be quite firm, but the middle will still have like a bit of a wobble to it. And here it is. You want it to have a little bit of a wiggle. I really hope you find this recipe useful, and please let me know if you do try it, and subscribe for more content like this. Bye!